All right, so this is going to be an attempt at really trying to make something a little bit more innovative when it comes to one of these kind of shows, because I don't really want it to be a show. What I want is for something a lot bigger than I could ever aim for at this exact moment. Even if that exact problem has been why I haven't produced something up to this point, and why a couple of the little things that have been don't get followed up on. The fact of the matter is that I need to have some reaction. I need to have something to play off of, and I'm an extreme introvert. Even if I'm a bartender, and you wouldn't be able to tell any of those patrons, especially my regulars, that I'm an introvert. That I have a hard time not necessarily getting someone to agree to be next to me in one of these things, but more so for me to follow through on making it happen. But this way, I can mitigate the part that I have no control over. If only, and here's the point to what hasn't been named yet, but will by the time you're able to watch this have some kind of a name. Why I want you guys to help me. I want you guys come at me. I'm going to put myself out here, 100% out here. I will literally answer anything you could possibly ask me. I do want it to have some kind of relevance and not just for some, make there be some kind of a point. I want to get to some places because I've been shown too many times that I see this world differently. That's an absolute fact. Everyone in my past will agree. Everyone in my present would probably agree. All of my patrons, all of my friends, all of my exes, and all of my fiends. I wanted something that rhymed a little bit better there, but whatever. And that's one thing that needs to be understood about me. Right before we get any of this going, I'm an explorer above all else. And it's really hard for an explorer to be wrong. Now, I'll get more into that if anybody wants to do that. But it's really, really, really difficult to feel like you're ever making a mistake when you're exploring. So I will not refrain from tripping up, from putting myself out there and realizing that later on I've got to backpedal. It is what it is. I'm not going to have extremely charged opinions about things. I'm not going to be able to be accused of being right or left. I will obviously be on some certain standpoints, but the fact of the matter is I am absolutely centrist. And even if I don't want to go to the political side yet, it's where I want to go. I want to change the world if that's at all possible, and there are people around me who are telling me that I need to do something like this because I can. I do not need to change the world, but I certainly need to try. And if I can get some kind of a similar reaction from this kind of a media as the media that I have been able to leverage my entire life, I will have some change into this world. I dream of a political, ideological change, a shift. But that's too much right now. I study sociology, hobby like psychology, which does go along with it, but I do lean towards the macro on that one. I love thinking about fringe topics. I can talk all day about things like Ice 13. We can talk about the voids in space. We can talk about quite a bit of quantum and astrophysics. I know a little bit about a lot and a lot about a little bit. That is not an exaggeration, and I want people to come at me. There's not a single thing that I can't respond to in real time with something that is cohesive and sounds like I know a little bit of what I'm talking about, because odds are at this point in my life, when I have been just trying to suck up all the information I could possibly find, I do know a little bit about a lot. And that little bit is also worth something more than people would really realize, because there is a certain amount of realization once you have accumulated so much information about so many different things. There's kind of a common value to many of the things that you find about all of these things. I know I'm saying things a lot, but the fact of the matter is that these things that I'm referring to need to have something for me to start with, because I've got all of this context that I cannot put in front of anything that I've tried to place out here right now. And when someone asks a question or someone makes a statement, they're by way implying some context that I can use. Don't get me wrong, there is still this level that I have to get over, that you're not going to, per se, unless we were seeing something face to face, that I'm going to be able to see people's reactions to things, that I'm going to be able to see their body language and read it. But that's okay. I can work around that. As long as I've got some feedback, I could do some amazing things in this world, and I can promise you that there will not be any supercharged statements. There is not going to be some overly dramatic statement that ultimately I make. There is not going to be any call for violence or anything like that, because there is no place in this world for any of that. Not just the violence, but the dissemination of people, splitting them up, making them exist inside of boxes while telling them to be unique. I love that one. Because look all around. In the way that we are seeking uniqueness these days, we are by way removing it from ourselves. We are placing ourselves in boxes, validating the lines drawn between us, and laying down for the venerate. Thank you. Come at me, please.